here are 5 things different about Sonic Movie 3 and Sonic Adventure 2. The introduction of Shadow the Hedgehog. Now in Sonic Adventure 2, Eggman was the one that raided the gun base and freed Shadow the Hedgehog from his capsule. However, in Sonic 3, Gerald has had Guns HQ, broke through the security firewall, and instead of any of the doctors doing of the fighting, it was actually Shadow this time. And speaking of which, when he meets Sonic, Shadow really doesn't have a Chaos Emerald on him like how he does in the games, but he can still teleport. In other words, he sacrificed the lack of Chaos Control for this series, or at least for now. Shadow and Gerald Robotnik's backstory from 50 years ago. Now in the games, it's not too far off to where they got Shadow's DNA. Gerald Robotnik has acquired some DNA from the Black Arms in order to make Shadow the Hedgehog and the Bio Lizard. And then Gun HQ figured out and then thought Shadow was too dangerous for this world. So both Maria Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik tried to save Shadow and seal him away. But then they lost Maria in the process. Now here's a few things that they changed in the movie though. Now in the games, Maria was actually shot by gun soldiers, and in the movies, she was killed by an explosion by radioactive energy. And another thing that they changed in this scene was that Gerald Robotnik was actually arrested instead of executed. Which brings me to number 3. Gerald Robotnik is actually alive. Yeah, so to not give kids in the 2020s some nightmares, because oh my god, if y'all saw that analog horror-ass supervillain plot, bro, I promise you, these kids would have been fucking traumatized. Anything for Jim Carrey to make his great return, you know what I mean? And next up, we got Sonic and Shadow's fights in Sonic 3 versus Sonic and Shadow's fights in Sonic Adventure. Now in Sonic Adventure 2, we never really get a clear winner of who actually won between Sonic and Shadow. It's only really determined by the stories that you play. Not to mention that in the games, while Shadow knows about the Chaos Emerald's power, they both never go super on each other. However, that is the complete opposite in Sonic 3, which was probably inspired by Sonic X, but that's a story for another time. And finally, the actual final battle in the movie. So instead of the Bio Lizard being introduced at all in the movie, we see more of the Chaos Cannon getting introduced as Gerald Robotnik fires it from Gun Headquarters HQ. Now what they did fight in space was Gun HQ robots. So yeah, they sacrificed the Bio Lizard, but hey, you can still fight him in Sonic and Shadow Generations though. What do y'all think about these changes? Let me know in the comments.